that information up and believe that that's what's happening, because that is what's happening. That's the reason why it's bad. Like, you are just going to be like harder to come back out into the world. And as young people, like, we only young ones, like, you go into science to like make the world a better place. Why would you say?
So yeah, get your vaccines.
Get your vaccine.
You want to be a surfer?
Hi.
We love vaccines.
We love vaccines.
And also we love each other.
We do.
And we love that vaccines can make us love.
It's a lot. They have helped me so much this year. I wouldn't be in Spain at the moment if I hadn't got a vaccine. Sorry, I've many vaccines. Sorry, I've just seen somebody that's with a surfboard, and Santander is not known for surfing, but I've improved my surfing so much since I've been here in Spain, and that would not have been possible if I didn't have vaccines, because I would not be here in Spain.
So yeah, get your vaccines.
Get your vaccine.
You want to be a surfer?
It's just me and my little brother that have been vaccinated. The rest of my family are against it, but not openly against it. They just won't get vaccinated. And they've all got specific different reasons for not getting vaccinated. And the reason why me and my little brother have is because we are a lot younger, and we both go to, like, we're both in education, so like the education system has been like, you need to get vaccinated, and has like pushed it a lot more than just the average, like.
And also because you're like more educated, you've got your own
Yeah,
opinions, and you're like surrounded by
other people that have like-minded opinions.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, a big reason why both of us have.
Does he study science as well?
Yeah, he
Did you
studies
study
physics.
science?
Yeah. So like we both study science, and we're both absolutely for vaccines, absolutely for like public health and that sort of stuff. Whereas like my brother has been around the same people as all the same friends as since he was 11, and they're all against it, and that are very like not open and speak to new people and hear different opinions. So like once they're set in their ways, like they're like, no, like we have these opinions, we don't trust the government. And like, so my older brother doesn't want to get the vaccines because he believes it's all this huge government conspiracy. He doesn't trust the government, so he believes that this is all a huge conspiracy by the government, and that it's to control, and he believes the whole microchip thing. But what he doesn't realise is like you could get tracked anywhere. Like there's so many easier ways and cheaper ways for the government to track you than an entire really expensive vaccine campaign. So I just think that that's complete ridiculous like reason why to not get vaccinated. I think it's very silly. My dad also, so my older sister is very work driven. So she believes that the whole of Corona doesn't exist, and people are making it out to be way worse than it is, to get sick days, to get furlough, and she believes that everyone's doing it because they don't have a work ethic, and they're just doing it to like scam the government for money, and that everyone's making it out to be way worse than it is. So she believes that she shouldn't get vaccinated because Corona just isn't a thing, so why even bother to take your time to get vaccinated, which, yeah. Go off, Queen. Very silly. Corona is definitely a real thing. People are ill about it all the time. So I think the issue with people being in their own echo chamber, and they just don't see these things that are actually going on. So if she sees anything, it's from a very biased news. Like, she'll just see the news, and if the news outlet she's reading and watching don't believe it, so she will then just eat that information up and believe that that's what's happening, because that is it. She will just eat up information that validates like her worldview, and she'll be like, oh, that's true because that's how I view the world, rather than it's not true, it's just that she's got a very specific way of viewing the world. They all have very different conspiracy theories. So my dad believes that doesn't want the vaccine because he believes that it's going to, in a few years, just kill everyone off, but deliberately from population control from the government. So he believes that the vaccine's actually going to kill everyone off. But that would also make no sense because the vaccines aren't being pushed onto a certain demographic. They're not trying to vaccinate only a specific group in like the population. the entire of the world is being vaccinated. If it really was population control, why would they want to target everybody? Like, the vaccine isn't discriminatory, yeah, like everybody should get it. So how on earth you can see why these theories appeal to people, because if you have a certain worldview, like you have these opinions, and then if a certain conspiracy theory then just like has the similar opinions you already have, you are going to easily just pick up and be like, I already believe in that, so why then? So it's easy to just like have a tiny little spin of it and everything you already believe, and then just this view is then like centered towards vaccines. You are going to then just be like, oh, I agree with that because it's already based on all the other beliefs you already have. So my brother doesn't trust the government. So if people go around saying that the vaccines are made by the government to do bad things to you, he's going to be like, oh yeah, well I already didn't trust the government. So yeah, I'm going to then straight up like buy into that the vaccines are this massive big government conspiracy. The same with my dad. But it's not the truth. The vaccines aren't issued by the government. They are issued by the scientific community. So the government doesn't have any like say on how the vaccines are made, how they're given out to certain people. It's done by the NHS. Yeah, it's just, if you don't trust the government and somebody goes, oh, that's the reason why it's bad, like you are just going to be like, yeah, okay, no, I believe that. My sister and brother are from I am from a very poor family, so we all like are from a disadvantaged background. So I feel like that's the reason. They already feel like they've not been looked after by the government. They don't feel like we don't have a social like country. Don't feel like we've all been looked after as like a country looking after its poorest and most vulnerable communities and like minority groups and stuff. So they already feel like if they've been ostracised and not looked after by the government and like this in their entire lives, why would then the government be suddenly looking out for you? It just feels, they would just feel like, oh, it's a bit sketchy, this entire thing, because like why would suddenly the government just be like, oh, let's help you? But that's just not true, because like when you're a child, when you're a baby, babies are born straight and you get your vaccinations. It's just not true. It's just like, if that's your opinion that the government's not tried to help you and like everything's not tried to help you, but the NHS does try to help you. Like, it hasn't got anything to do with the government. The NHS is always going to be there for you, and it's always tried to be there for its most vulnerable and most poor communities in England. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I do just think that like me and my little brother went to college. We both go to university. I just think that we are so much more open and like know more people. And so we came from a really poor, disadvantaged background, and I wanted to go to university to like move out of my house because it would have been really hard to do it any other way. So especially going to university, you are like taught to think about both sides of the argument and be critical, like use critical thinking, and like before you have these decisions. They want to cure people, they want to make people better, they want to stop all these diseases. So why would they then make a vaccine that would then kill people? Like, that's not anybody's reason. Like, you go into science to help people, you go into science to like make the world a better place. Why would these scientists have that reason to go into science and then be suddenly corrupted by government? Like, it just wouldn't make any sense to me. Especially with everything, we could all still be inside now. Like, it would have been so much more, like so much harder to come back out into the world. And as young people, like we're only young once, like this is our like best time to be out doing things and be sociable. And especially I'm on Erasmus, like I've been speaking to new people every single day, meeting new people, going to new things, which just wouldn't be possible if we weren't all vaccinated. Like, I wouldn't be able to go to the beach every day, I wouldn't be here in Spain, I wouldn't be able to go to surfing. Like, the vaccine has helped my life in so many ways. I've had the best time of my life on my Erasmus year. Highly recommend if you can do a study abroad year. And as young people, like we're only young once, like you go into science to like make the world a better place. Why would you say?
So yeah, get your vaccine.
Get your vaccine.
Want to be a surfer?